Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Sienna throw a wrench in the chic reunion? The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, were poised for a romantic reunion before Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, car crash. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Report ad. With so much mystery surrounding Noah's accident, and Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, entering the equation, will the bar owner throw a wrench in chic reuniting? What about Sharon Newman? With so many new characters entering the canvas, as well as soap vet Roger Howarth's debut coming soon, will Nick be the only one experiencing a fun new romance? There's always a chance that Sienna won't be the only wedge in the chic reunion. If someone has eyes for Sharon, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. What is this? Report ad. Could there be chemistry between Sharon and Detective Burrows, Matt Cohen, who doesn't seem to be a detective? Then again, sparks could fly between her and Howarth's character. As of this writing, Y&R hasn't confirmed who Howarth will be playing. There has been some buzz that he's the Tucker McCall, last played by Trevor St. John, recast, but nothing official has been stated. With that said, Tucker and Sharon did once share a fling, so could they rekindle some of that magic, upon his return? Will Nick and Sienna hook up? Comment below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Sienna throw a wrench in the chic reunion? Genoa City's love stories are never simple, and when it comes to Nick and Sharon, the legendary chic, their journey has been one of heartbreak, redemption, and unfinished business. After years of separation, tragedy, and rekindled emotions, fans have been rooting for them to find their way back to each other once and for all. But just when it seems destiny is finally on their side, a new storm named Sienna Bacall may be about to blow everything apart. Sharon's fragile peace, Nick's growing doubts, and Sienna's mysterious motives could collide in ways no one expects, turning what was supposed to be a romantic reunion into a battlefield of secrets and betrayal. As the emotional tension builds, Genoa City might be on the verge of another unforgettable love triangle, one that could redefine loyalties and ignite feuds that reach far beyond romance. For months now, The Young and the Restless has been teasing the slow burn between Sharon and Nick. Their chemistry has never faded, and their shared past remains one of the soap's greatest cornerstones. But just as they start to, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Reconnect, helping each other through loss, rebuilding trust, and finding joy in the familiar warmth of shared history. Sienna Bacall slinks into the picture with her sharp smile, mysterious charm, and a knack for reading people's vulnerabilities. Sienna's arrival hasn't gone unnoticed. She's quickly become one of Genoa City's most unpredictable newcomers. With her tangled connection to Holden and her recent interactions with Kyle, she's already established herself as a wild card capable of turning anyone's world upside down. But when her attention turns toward Nick Newman, the stakes get even higher. What does Sienna really want from Nick, and why is she suddenly so interested in Sharon's former flame? Nick, always a man torn between heart and responsibility, seems caught off guard by Sienna's interest. At first, he dismisses her flirtation as harmless, but their paths keep crossing, at Crimson Lights, at Newman Media events, and even at society. The attraction is undeniable, but beneath Sienna's seductive confidence lies an agenda she hasn't revealed yet. Could she be using Nick to gain leverage over someone else in Genoa City, or is her fascination with him genuine? Meanwhile, Sharon senses trouble brewing. She's been down this road before, watching as other women, Phyllis, Avery, Chelsea, have stepped into her story with Nick and rewritten their love chapter. But Sharon's intuition, always razor-sharp, tells her that Sienna is different. This isn't just another fling or fleeting temptation. There's something calculating about Sienna's timing, something too deliberate about the way she inserts herself into Nick's orbit. And Sharon isn't about to let history repeat itself without a fight. Behind Sienna's composed demeanor, a storm is raging. She's hiding secrets that tie her to some of Genoa City's most powerful players, and she knows how to use those secrets to her advantage. Her recent run-ins with Claire, Holden, and even Victor Newman have painted her as someone with dangerous connections, and a possible hidden agenda involving revenge. But where does Nick fit into all of this? Some whispers suggest Sienna sees Nick as a key to infiltrating the Newman Empire. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Exploiting his loyalty to his family and his lingering affection for Sharon. Others speculate that her motives are more personal, that she's targeting Sharon herself, seeking to destroy her emotionally for reasons yet unknown. If Sienna's endgame involves Sharon, it wouldn't be the first time a woman with a vendetta used Nick as a pawn. Sharon's past is full of rivalries that began innocently but ended in chaos, like her clashes with Phyllis, who used every tool at her disposal to steal Nick away, or Chelsea, whose deceptions nearly destroyed Sharon's stability. Sienna, however, operates on another level. She's more enigmatic, more subtle, more manipulative. She doesn't shout her intentions, she quietly engineers them. Fans can already see the tension rising. Sharon, torn between trust and caution, struggles to keep her focus as Sienna makes herself comfortable around Nick. Their innocent conversations begin to look more like secret meetings, and Sharon starts to wonder if her second chance with Nick is slipping through her fingers before it even begins. Meanwhile, Nick finds himself wrestling with guilt. He's drawn to Sienna's spark but haunted by his connection to Sharon. He knows what they've survived together: Cassie's death, Sharon's mental health struggles, Faith's ups and downs, and their years of mutual forgiveness. He's never stopped caring for her, but with Sienna around, those feelings get tangled with confusion. The more he resists, the more Sienna tempts him, sensing the cracks in his resolve. But Sienna's biggest weapon isn't her charm, it's information. Rumor has it she's uncovered something explosive about Sharon's recent past, something that could shatter Sharon's credibility and ruin her relationship with Nick if it ever comes to light. Could this be connected to Sharon's therapy sessions, her business dealings, or even an incident from her mental health journey that she's kept private? Whatever it is, Sienna seems poised to use it at the perfect moment, and if she does, it could devastate Schick for good. Meanwhile, Sharon might not be as defenseless as Sienna assumes. She's stronger now, wiser, and more self-aware than she's ever been. With allies like Mariah, Tessa, and Faith by her, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Side, she's not about to let a newcomer destroy everything she's rebuilt. And when Sharon finally starts digging into Sienna's past, she might uncover shocking truths that turn the tables. Imagine Sharon discovering Sienna's ties to Holden, or realizing that Sienna's entire persona is an act, created to manipulate not just Nick but several of Genoa City's most influential figures. The fallout could be spectacular. The drama doesn't stop there. As Victor and Nikki start to sense that Sienna's presence could destabilize the Newman family yet again, Victor may decide to take matters into his own hands. He's always been protective of Sharon in his own way, and if he believes Sienna poses a threat to Nick or the family brand, he'll make her regret ever setting foot in town. A showdown between Victor and Sienna would be explosive, two master manipulators facing off, each trying to outwit the other. But what if Sienna has something Victor doesn't expect, proof of Newman's secrets buried deep in the past? That could change everything. In another twist, Adam might find himself drawn into the mess. He's always had complicated feelings about Sharon, and seeing her hurt by Sienna could reignite old emotions. Adam could become Sharon's unlikely ally, helping her expose Sienna's deception. But if Adam gets too close, it might reignite the eternal tension between the Newman brothers, turning a love triangle into a full-blown family war. As the storyline unfolds, the question on every fan's mind remains the same: will Sienna successfully sabotage Sharon and Nick's reunion, or will Schick finally get their well-deserved happy ending? The odds aren't in their favor. Genoa City thrives on chaos, but sometimes love finds a way even through the most dangerous storms. What makes this twist so powerful is how it blends nostalgia with new intrigue. Sharon and Nick's relationship has always been the heart of The Young and the Restless, a love story that spans decades. Bringing Sienna into their orbit adds a fresh layer of complexity, forcing both characters to confront what they truly want. Sharon must decide whether to trust her heart or protect herself, while Nick faces his own pattern of chasing the wrong kind of. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Excitement when life gets too predictable. As the weeks progress, fans should brace themselves for explosive confrontations. Sienna might corner Sharon with accusations that cut deep, perhaps even revealing personal information Sharon never wanted public. Nick, caught in the middle, will have to choose between loyalty and temptation. Every interaction will feel charged, every glance between the trio will hint at deeper emotions, and every secret revealed will raise the stakes higher. But make no mistake, this isn't just about romance. This is about power, control, and the battle for emotional dominance in Genoa City's most iconic love triangle. Sienna's entrance isn't a random plot, it's a calculated shakeup that could redefine several relationships across the board. If she succeeds, Sharon could lose not just Nick but her sense of stability. If she fails, she may become the latest in a long line of women who underestimated Sharon Collins. The tension between them could become one of the show's most compelling rivalries, two strong women fighting not just for a man, but for validation, respect, and survival. In the end, The Young and the Restless thrives on this kind of emotional firestorm. As viewers, we love seeing characters pushed to their limits, seeing Sharon rediscover her inner strength, Nick face his weaknesses, and Sienna expose the dark corners of her ambition. Whether Sienna's plot tears Schick apart or unintentionally pushes them closer together, one thing is clear, this storyline is about to take Genoa City by storm. Sienna Bacall has arrived like a hurricane, and she's not leaving without making her mark. But Sharon and Nick have weathered storms before, and sometimes, the fiercest battles lead to the strongest bonds. Could this be their final test before a long-overdue reunion? Or is this the beginning of a heartbreak neither of them will recover from? Only time, and Sienna's next move, will tell. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. What about Sharon Newman? Sharon Newman has long been one of the most complex and beloved characters on The Young and the Restless, a woman who has endured heartbreak, loss, redemption, and rebirth more times than anyone in Genoa City could count. Her story is a tapestry woven from triumph and tragedy, love and betrayal, strength and vulnerability. Fans have watched her evolve from the small-town girl who fell head over heels for Nick Newman into one of the most resilient women in daytime drama. But now, as new storylines threaten to pull her back into chaos, the question everyone's asking is, what about Sharon Newman? What's next for her, and how will she navigate the storms ahead when every part of her life seems ready to explode once again? Sharon's world has been anything but simple. Over the years, she's been a wife, a mother, a businesswoman, and a survivor. She's battled mental health challenges, faced devastating loss, and still managed to rise stronger each time. Her fans love her because she's real, she's flawed, emotional, empathetic, and endlessly forgiving. Yet that compassion often makes her a target. The latest chaos brewing in Genoa City could once again test every ounce of her emotional strength. After losing Ray Rosales in a heartbreaking accident, Sharon threw herself into work and family, finding comfort in stability. Running Crimson Lights gave her purpose, and her role as a therapist helped her reclaim control over her life. But even with her progress, something has always felt unfinished, her heart. The re-emerging connection with Nick Newman has reignited old feelings, stirring up questions about whether Schick is truly destined to find its way back together. Yet with Sienna Bacall now hovering dangerously close to Nick, Sharon's sense of peace is slipping through her fingers. Once again, she's standing at a crossroads, forced to decide whether to fight for the man she's always loved or walk. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. A way for her own emotional survival. Sharon's instinct tells her Sienna is trouble. She recognizes manipulation when she sees it, and there's something about Sienna's presence that sets off alarm bells. Sharon has seen this before. Schemers like Phyllis, Chelsea, and Grace Turner have all used charm and deceit to lure Nick away. But Sienna operates differently. She's more subtle, more psychological. She studies people, finds their weak spots, and plays them like instruments. Sharon, who's spent years helping others manage their trauma, suddenly finds herself being analyzed by someone just as observant, but with darker motives. The tension between Sharon and Sienna is electric. On the surface, they're polite, two women who could, in another life, be friends. But beneath that calm civility simmers a war of intuition and strategy. Sienna's confidence unnerves Sharon, while Sharon's emotional intelligence frustrates Sienna, who can't seem to get under her skin as easily as she expected. Yet the more Sharon tries to stay composed, the more she realizes how much she still has to lose. She's finally at a point in her life where she's stable, her children are grown, her mental health is strong, and she's rediscovered her passion for helping others. Losing Nick again, especially to someone as unpredictable as Sienna, could send shockwaves through everything she's rebuilt. But Sharon isn't the same woman she once was. This time, she won't crumble, she'll fight. What fans adore about Sharon Newman is her resilience. She has fallen apart publicly, been judged, betrayed, and left behind, yet she always rises. When she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, she faced her illness head-on, shattering stigmas in the process. When she lost Cassie, she grieved with the raw pain of a mother but still found a way to move forward for Faith and Noah. Sharon's story has always been one of survival against the odds. And as Sienna's shadow looms larger, fans can expect Sharon to summon that inner strength once again, only this time, she'll do it with wisdom, not desperation. While Sharon's love life might be heading into another emotional storm, her professional world could also see major shifts. Her counseling practice has become an anchor in Genoa City, and it might soon intersect with several other storylines. Rumors suggest she could find herself counseling Claire Grace, a young woman whose past trauma mirrors some of Sharon's own struggles. This dynamic could create powerful parallels, allowing Sharon to revisit her own pain while helping someone else heal. It might also put her in Sienna's crosshairs, especially if Sienna and Claire's paths are secretly connected. On another front, Sharon could soon face new drama at Crimson Lights. The coffee house has always been her sanctuary, but lately it's been a revolving door of emotional encounters, from Nick's late-night visits to unexpected meetings with Adam. Sharon's interactions with Adam have Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Remained complicated for years. They share a dark and intimate bond, one that often resurfaces at the worst possible times. Adam has always been drawn to Sharon's compassion, while Sharon sees the broken soul beneath his chaos. If Sienna's plot with Nick deepens, Adam could re-emerge as Sharon's unlikely protector, reigniting one of the show's most controversial relationships. Could the show be setting up a new love triangle where Sharon must choose between Nick's comfort and Adam's fire? If so, fans are in for an emotional roller coaster. Beyond romance, Sharon might also get drawn into Newman family power plays again. With Victor keeping a watchful eye on Sienna and Nick's involvement with her, Sharon could find herself once more tangled in the Newman web. Victor has always respected Sharon in his own way. He sees her strength, even if he doesn't always agree with her choices. If he perceives Sienna as a threat, he might quietly enlist Sharon's help to expose her. That could set up an unlikely alliance between Sharon and Victor, one that could change the balance of power in Genoa City. But the emotional core of Sharon's story will always come back to her heart. Fans are deeply invested in seeing her happy, truly happy, after decades of pain. The question is whether happiness means a reunion with Nick, or something entirely new. Sharon has spent so much of her life defined by the men around her that a storyline focused on her independence would be a powerful turn. Imagine Sharon deciding to put herself first, traveling, expanding her counseling practice, even opening a wellness center that combines therapy and community support. She's more than capable, and it's time Genoa City sees her as more than a love interest. Yet, no matter how far she grows, the connection to Nick will always linger. Their shared history, Cassie, faith, their decades of heartbreak and reconciliation, is too deep to ignore. Even when they aren't together, their bond is unbreakable. But Sienna's arrival might force Sharon to face a hard truth: maybe love isn't about returning to the past, but finding peace in the present. Sharon's future could go in many directions. If she decides to fight for Nick, she'll do it with grace and intelligence, not manipulation. If she lets him go, it will be because she's learned to value her self-worth over nostalgia. And if she ends up confronting Sienna directly, fans can expect fireworks, sharp dialogue, emotional confrontations, and perhaps a few shocking revelations that change everything we thought we knew about Sienna's motives. It's possible that Sharon could uncover Sienna's ties to a much B. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Eager plot, maybe even connected to Holden's manipulations or the mysterious power games unfolding between the Abbotts and Newmans. Sharon's calm, observant nature makes her the perfect person to piece things together, and she may become the unlikely heroine who exposes Sienna's true agenda. As the story deepens, Sharon's journey could serve as the emotional heart of the young and the restless once again. She embodies everything that makes the show timeless: passion, redemption, resilience, and hope. Whether she's counseling others through trauma, confronting personal demons, or standing up to those who try to exploit her kindness, Sharon continues to evolve in ways that keep viewers captivated. The question, "What about Sharon Newman?" isn't just a storyline teaser, it's a reflection of how integral she is to the soul of Genoa City. Without her, the town feels colder, less human, less real. Sharon represents the heartbeat of the series, the emotional compass guiding both fans and characters through the chaos. As the next chapter unfolds, one thing is certain: Sharon's story is far from over. She may be calm on the surface, but a storm is brewing underneath, a storm that could redefine her relationships, her identity, and her place in the world she's fought so hard to build. Whether she faces heartbreak or triumph, Sharon Newman will face it the only way she knows how, with grace, courage, and a quiet strength that reminds everyone why she remains one of daytime television's most unforgettable women. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Sienna Bacall's first Nick Newman encounter. The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that it was no coincidence that Nick was the one to take Sienna's call off Noah's phone during the week of October 13th to 17th. Nick will go digging into the reason behind his son's accident this coming week, and added teasers imply that he'll meet Sienna face-to-face during the Thursday, October 23rd show. Will sparks fly between Sienna and Nick? There will likely be conflict and confrontation between the two, since Nick is suspicious of Sienna and how she abruptly hung up on him. However, clashing when two characters are introduced is often a big sign that the two will end up in a romance, one just in bed, at the very least. Sienna Bacall's first Nick Newman encounter. Genoa City is no stranger to electric first meetings, but when Sienna Bacall crosses paths with Nick Newman for the first time, the air practically crackles with tension and intrigue. Fans of The Young and the Restless have seen countless introductions that changed everything, from Sharon meeting Nick in her teenage years to Phyllis seducing him during one of his lowest moments, but this one feels different. Sienna's arrival in Nick's world isn't an accident. It's a collision of charm, strategy, and danger that could unravel more lives than anyone suspects. What starts as a "SE please subscribe and like the video before continuing" seemingly innocent encounter may soon spiral into one of the most captivating entanglements Genoa City has seen in years. The stage is set at Society, where Nick attends a Newman media event hosted by his sister Victoria. He's relaxed, enjoying a quiet moment away from the constant corporate battles and emotional chaos that seem to define his family's life. Across the room, however, a striking woman with piercing eyes and an enigmatic smile watches him closely: Sienna Bacall, a newcomer whose reputation is as intriguing as it is mysterious. Her energy is magnetic. Everyone seems drawn to her, yet no one quite knows who she is. She moves with the kind of confidence that demands attention but doesn't beg for it. When she finally approaches Nick, it's not with a flutter of nerves but with deliberate poise. "You must be Nick Newman," she says smoothly, her voice laced with the faintest hint of amusement. "You don't strike me as the type to enjoy corporate events. You seem like the guy who'd rather be anywhere else." Nick, caught off guard, laughs. He's used to people recognizing his name, not reading his demeanor. There's something refreshing about her tone, direct but not disrespectful, playful but grounded. It's an instant connection, one that he doesn't quite understand but can't ignore. Their conversation flows easily, touching on everything from business to family to the city itself. But beneath the surface, there's an undercurrent neither acknowledges: curiosity. For Nick, it's the intrigue of meeting someone who doesn't treat him like a Newman. For Sienna, it's something far more calculated. She knows exactly who he is, and this encounter isn't coincidence, it's strategy. Sienna's background remains deliberately murky. She's recently made waves around Genoa City for her association with Holden and her uncanny ability to manipulate situations to her advantage. But Nick doesn't know that yet. All he sees is a beautiful, confident woman who seems genuinely interested in getting to know him. And for a man whose life has been full of women who wanted something from his family name, that's disarming. Meanwhile, across the room, Victoria notices the exchange. Her expression tightens, protective instinct or professional wariness, it's hard to tell. She's seen enough sharks circle her brother over the years to know when someone's playing a game. And Sienna Bacall? She plays to win. When Nick and Sienna's conversation moves from polite banter to genuine laughter, Victoria makes a mental note: find out who this woman really is. The night continues, and so does the chemistry. Sienna's charm isn't loud, it's subtle, like a whisper in the ear that lingers long after it's gone. She listens intently when Nick talks about his children, about his struggles with balancing family and business, and even about Sharon, though his tone softens noticeably when her name comes up. Sienna files that away. Every detail matters. "Sharon sounds special," she says, her tone unreadable. "She is," Nick replies without hesitation. "We've been through everything: love, loss, the works. She's family, no matter what." Sienna smiles, a flicker of something darker passing through her eyes. That kind of please subscribe and like the video before continuing. "Connection is rare," she says softly. "But sometimes the past can keep you from seeing what's right in front of you." It's the kind of comment that lingers, and Nick can't shake it even after the event ends. As he watches her leave, her perfume lingering faintly in the air, her confidence leaving its mark, he realizes he wants to see her again. He tells himself it's just curiosity, but deep down, it's more than that. It's attraction, sparked by mystery. But as always in Genoa City, mystery comes with a price. Behind the charm, Sienna's motives are already in motion. She's connected to Holden, whose schemes are quietly rippling through the town, and Nick might just be the perfect pawn. Whether she's after information, influence, or revenge, getting close to a Newman, especially Nick, gives her access she wouldn't otherwise have. And if that means pretending to fall for him, so be it. But Sienna's confidence could be her downfall, because Nick Newman may be trusting, but he's not naive. He's been burned too many times to ignore the warning signs, and Sharon's intuition has always been his compass. It won't take long before Sharon senses that Sienna's interest in Nick isn't as innocent as it seems. The second she sees them together, perhaps at Crimson Lights or a Newman family gathering, she'll feel that familiar chill. Sharon's instincts about people are rarely wrong, and she'll recognize that Sienna's smile hides something sharp. What follows could ignite a new rivalry that rocks Genoa City's social scene. Sharon, cautious but protective, might warn Nick to keep his distance. Nick, wanting to believe in Sienna's sincerity, might brush off her concerns. And Sienna, ever the strategist, could use Sharon's warnings to paint herself as the victim, deepening Nick's emotional investment. Every move Sienna makes seems effortless, but it's all part of a calculated plan. Still, there's one thing she doesn't expect: genuine emotion. As she spends more time with Nick, she begins to see glimpses of the man beneath the Newman armor, the father, the peacemaker, the man still haunted by loss but determined to protect those he loves. Those qualities disarm her, blurring the lines between manipulation and real attraction. It's a dangerous shift, one that could destroy her carefully crafted plans. Meanwhile, whispers start spreading through town. Phyllis, ever the gossip, might drop a few comments about Nick's new flame, while Victoria digs into Sienna's past. What she finds could change everything. If Sienna's business dealings or connections to Holden come to light, it could expose her entire agenda, and drag Nick right into the fallout. Victor, of course, won't stand by idly. If he senses that Sienna poses any threat to his family, he'll take immediate action. Victor's protective instincts, combined with his suspicion of outsiders, could spark a confrontation that exposes Sienna's true motives. But what if Victor's interference only drives Nick closer to her? That's the brilliance of Sienna's manipulation: she thrives on tension. The more others push against her, the more irresistible she appears to Nick, who's always had a rebellious streak when it comes to his father's opinions. As the weeks unfold, the Sienna-Nick dynamic deepens. Their chemistry is undeniable, their conversations laced with unspoken desire and intellectual sparring. Yet under the surface, danger brews. Sharon becomes increasingly uneasy, sensing that Sienna's presence isn't just romantic, it's destabilizing. She's not just after Nick's heart, she's after influence, access, and perhaps even revenge for a secret tied to Holden's manipulations. Could it be that Sienna's connection to Holden involves the Newmans in ways no one yet understands? Maybe her entire relationship with Nick is part of a larger plan, to get close enough to uncover Newman family secrets or even use Nick as leverage in Holden's quiet war against Genoa City's elite. If so, Sienna's first encounter with Nick isn't just a flirtatious meeting, it's the opening move in a dangerous game. Yet, as with any great soap twist, feelings complicate everything. Sienna's icy control begins to falter as she starts to genuinely fall for Nick. For the first time, her mask slips. She's torn between her mission and the man who sees something good in her, a side she thought she'd buried long ago. But Nick, ever the moral compass, may discover the truth before she's ready to confess. When he please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The fallout could be explosive. The betrayal would cut deep, not just because of deception, but because of the real connection they shared. Sharon's reaction would be equally fierce, protective instincts would flare, not just out of jealousy but from genuine concern for Nick's heart. "I told you she wasn't what she seemed," Sharon might say, heartbreak and vindication mixing in her tone. And as Sienna faces exposure, the question becomes whether she'll double down on her schemes, or risk everything to prove her feelings were real. Either way, that first encounter between Sienna Bacall and Nick Newman will go down in the Young and the Restless history books as a pivotal moment, a spark that ignited a wildfire of passion, deceit, and power plays. It's the beginning of a dangerous dance between two people who might destroy each other or save each other, depending on who blinks first. For Nick, it's a reminder that trust can be both his strength and his weakness. For Sienna, it's a moment that threatens to unravel the careful web she's spun. And for viewers, it's the start of a storyline that promises everything we love about Genoa City: glamour, danger, and irresistible emotional chaos. One thing's certain, after Sienna Bacall's first encounter with Nick Newman, nothing in his world will ever be the same again. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing.